Yeah, it's a great publication. It's read widely throughout the farm, and I think it offers a unique perspective in terms of what's going on.
They inform us about what's happening in our community, in our greater community. They're always on top of having the pulse, I believe, in what it is that's important in the business world and the non-business world.
We love the Puget Sound Business Journal.
Right.
Why do you like it?
I like it because it's actually familiar. I mean, we read both local and national publications here. We have a lot of publications, Inc., for example, we'll get. But the Puget Sound Business Journal feels like I'm reading about my community, which we're very community-oriented in general. So we like, or I personally like reading about companies that are here and that are about people that I'll run into at networking events, and it kind of feels more like a community publication.
There's thousands of companies in Washington. I don't know most of them, and from the story side, I always like, it's kind of interesting to learn about what some of the other companies are doing. There's just as many that don't know what we do.
I mean, the impact of it is, or it feels more impactful because they're local stories. They're real. You can actually, oh yeah, I can relate to that, or I witnessed that.
I always know people in there, and there's always a need interview, or there might be just a sales blurb, but I scan it real quick. I'll look and see what companies are identified just to see if there's any of our customers. That's kind of my first thing to do. It's always fun to read about what your peers are doing, and it gives you a little bit of a kind of a competitive envy, seriously, where you're just like, well, I mean, God, they got so I can't go to sleep. I mean, they've got so many things going on. I mean, it just looks like it's all good. What are we doing to be a little bit different? What are we doing?
The Puget Sound Business Journal has been a publication that's been in Seattle for quite some time. I don't know its history, but I think it does a nice job of kind of collecting the kind of the goings on, if you will, in the Puget Sound area, and it's sitting in our reception, and I think we have a couple other copies sitting around the office, and I look at it every week when it comes out.
Now, the Puget Sound Business Journal, is that a publication you tend to read?
Every week for many, many years.
And why do you read that thing? Why is it?
Because of its focus. It's a focus on, as its name implies, the Puget Sound region, and once a week I can pick up the paper and I get a pretty deep dive into the local business community.
Now, the Puget Sound Business Journal, do you guys ever read that thing?
Read it every Friday.
Cover to cover.
I read it every Friday. I like to look and see who's getting featured, what businesses, why we're not in there. We look and see. A lot of times, flip through and find one of our clients getting some sort of mention that either we were helping them get to that announcement, or allows us to give us a reason to follow up with them about something. So I think it's fairly relevant.
Puget Sound Business Journal should feel really good about their culture and what they do for giving back, because it's a neat way of integrating a lot of wonderful companies into the Seattle community by recognizing that process, and I would hope it would lift what it is that you're about as an organization.
Oh, it's great. I always look forward to getting it. We don't get it until Monday, and others get it beforehand. I'm always a little bit, I wish that I could pick it up sooner, because I get emails over the weekend from people saying, have you seen this article? And I haven't seen it yet. It's a great publication, and we just really appreciate the fact that that there's such a valued part of our economy.
It's a one way to stay in touch with what's going on within Seattle. It's important, especially in my line of work, to be reading it. So it's nice to it's just a good I guess barometer of what's going on in the marketplace, and I need to be aware of that.
Now, the Puget Sound Business Journal, do you guys read that?
Yeah, we do. we advertise in it.
Why do you advertise in there? What do you think you're getting out of that?
you know, they just talk to a crowd that's a very important part of our clientele, very specifically, very directly, and that's been a huge part of our marketing for probably over 10, 12 years now.
It seems like it's a paper that works for this area, for the business people, you think?
Yeah, it definitely does. I mean, they hit on so many different cylinders. It's a great great company, great organization, and a great end product. The paper, both online from Tech Flash to the printed product, they know what they're doing.
And they're, I mean, not to toot your horn too much, but they're definitely the go-to source for business information. So.
Oh, I read it every week. Yep, yep, most definitely.
What are you looking for when you go in there?
Well, I look for what's happening in the marketplace, what's new, what is transition, and they you know, they keep me informed on you know, some statistics on some things that are critical to my business. So they do a real good job of that.
You know, actually I do. I've actually read that for many, many years. It's kind of one of my touchstones, to tell you the truth, because it's one of the few papers that's targeted, you know, just for the business community that I can flip through, and just in a few pages I can get a pretty quick spectrum of kind of what's going on and what's happening. And in my world of travel and everything else that's going on, it's fairly essential for me to have that each week to kind of go, okay, in 5-10 minutes I can get a little bit up to speed here.
Religiously, yes. I read it daily. I get the daily email blasts that I read, and every week certainly read it. Yeah, a lot of good information. Fantastic business leads. It's important to keep up with what's going on in the business community. As a matter of fact, we read maybe 10 other business journals from around the country in markets that we're in, just to keep up in those markets as well.
So it's still important to read.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.